They'll run houses through several groups of auctions. They'll take their houses that an individual bank owns or institution, and they'll bulk them together and give them off to auctions. They're just trying to sell the house for as much as they can, as quickly as they can. When the market becomes flooded like it is, though, they don't always sell those very quickly. And they don't sell them for a lot. So what happens is, we get the opportunity, Pinnacle Property Solutions, to come in and make deals, negotiate with banks directly to close on these bulk packages of homes, buying them directly from institutions. Now, once Pinnacle's got them, what do we want to do with them?
Sell them as much as you can.
Great. There you go. So let me tell you how we get them. Because it's a little different. A lot of people think they understand bulk buying. I'd venture to say that very few people actually do. I hear a lot of people say everywhere, especially if you read the internet, everyone's done it, bulk packages. Here's the difference in a bulk package. The number one reason difference is if you're a real estate broker and you're used to buying a house or selling a house, you probably know absolutely nothing about buying in bulk. And here's why. Because you're usually buying a person. You're a person buying or selling to a person. So it's a person-to-person transaction with lots of rules and regulations and laws and brokers involved in that process. That has nothing to do with a business-to-business transaction, a contractual agreement between an institution like a bank and a person buying its asset, whatever it is. It happens to be we buy single-family residences, but it's now got those on its balance sheet to sell. So negotiating with the bank to buy 10 or 1,000 or 300 of something is not the same thing. Negotiating a contract for that is nothing like the same thing as buying a house or a piece of real estate from a bank or from an individual. Two different things. So we buy in bulk on bank-to-bank or business-to-business transactions, and usually those look like, one of the big differences is quitclaim deeds. We get a lot of our properties on quitclaim deeds. And here's why we get them that way, and I'll explain to you a little bit. It's contracts. We get a contract from a bank that says, we go negotiate with the bank and says, we want to buy 100 homes from you. And we agree on a price. They agree to sell us 100 homes. They agree on the price of those 100 homes. And now we have an agreement. We actually enter into a contract. It's the first thing we do. So they say, hey, we're going to sell you these 100 homes. Here's a list of addresses, and here's how much they're going to cost. And then all these disclosures, like as is, where is, everywhere. They accept no liability or responsibility in any kind. If you're doing a person-to-person transaction, the seller's got rights, the buyer's got rights, everybody's got rights. Well, there's nobody's got any rights in a commercial transaction, in a bulk transaction. It's simply saying, here's this stuff, I own it, I'll sell it to you for this amount of money, and here's what you get with it. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm not going to guarantee where it is, what condition it's in, what it looks like. I'm going to guarantee absolutely nothing. But if you want it, you can buy it, and here's the contract. So they submit that contract to us. Most of these happen the same day purchase. I just pulling in right here, we left the restaurant over there, and I bought 14 houses on the way over here. So I buy that because we had negotiated a contract, and I signed off on the contract. So what happens is, they submit a contract. It's got a list of addresses, and then they've got their purchase amount, what they'll state for them. We agree to pay for them. We agree to disclosures that say, we absolutely release you from all liability, but we're buying them such a great deal, we'll agree to do that. And so we sign the contracts, they sign the contracts, we execute. Now we've got, as soon as we vest, we same day funding. That's the other thing that's a little different. You don't get time to go to escrow and do a lot of that. Listen, if you talk to a bank into selling you something that used to be worth this much for this much, I want to close as quickly as I can. So I say, file the disclosures, where do I wire the funds to, and I want to get my money in their hands. And the reason I want to get my money in their hands is because now I have consideration on the contract. They signed it, I signed it, we agreed, we funded, we're in the deal. We got the houses. So now we own them. Now, have I got them yet? No. Have I received my deeds yet? Nope. Have I done any of those things yet? Not yet. But I've got a contract with a very reputable institution that says, I'll sell you this stuff. And here's your limits and waivers. And you're going to sign off on all that. You're going to go ahead and pay me for them. So we do that. We execute. Now they want us to send back. We fund it. We've got our contracts. We've bought them. Now what do we want? The vesting. They want to know, what name would you like these placed in? That's basically what vesting is. Right? So now we've got, our company's bought them, our company's funded, they own them, they're going to give them to us via quitclaim deeds, one at a time. They say, where would you like these to be placed? What name would you want these to go? Remember, you know? It's not like a person-to-person where it's got to move from here to here. It's some third party, and we have the houses are a third-party object, and we have these contract from this person to this person. Now we've got consideration. So now we're going to move that vesting into that. So if we had 100 homes, like for the purpose of this example, we would open 100 land trusts, 100. We have a trust department at Pinnacle Property Solutions, so we would open 100 land trusts. Everybody know what a land trust is? Anybody not know what a land trust is? I have a lot of time to explain it, but it's just a very easy way to move property from one owner to another in real estate. So we create 100 land trusts, and then we instruct the bank to vest each one of those 100 properties via quitclaim deed to that name of that 100 land trusts. Does that make sense? So we put one home in one land trust, whatever we buy. Every time, all the time. I bought 14 today. We start 14 trusts and put 14 homes in 14 different land trusts. And so they vest it straight from the bank, straight via quitclaim deed, directly into the name of a land trust. Now, then we hold the beneficial interest. There's three parts to a trust. There's a documentation of a trust. There's a trustee. That's the person that does everything on a trust. And there's a person that tells the trustee, instructs the trustee what to do. That's a beneficial interest holder. So I am the beneficial interest holder, or my company's the beneficial interest holder, and the via quitclaim deed is going from the bank or institution directly into the name of the land trust. And I control the land trust to instruct the trustee what to do with the trust and the assets held in the trust, which happens to be a house. Does everybody see that? Very, very different from buying a house from a person. So when you try to take residential real estate and place it over bulk buying REOs, they have nothing to do with each other. They're nothing alike. Okay? All right, so it's a little different. But what do we want to do again? What's our goal? Once we get them, now we've got them all again. We want to sell for as much as we can, as quick as we can. How do we do that? The same way you eat that great elephant from Denmark, one bite at a time. And here's what we've done with that. We've got a proven, time-tested, established system that works to move those properties. When we buy homes at Pinnacle Property Solutions, I sell them to two groups. I want to sell them for as quick as I can, for as much as I can. And we sell them to two different groups of people. The first group is end users. That's people that are going to move the property. Does that make sense? Company, I bought them cheap and I want to sell them to a person who's actually going to live there. Number two, we also sell them at the exact same time to investors. So I'm trying to sell to two different groups all at the same time. I don't care who wins. You as a group of investors can buy the properties from us, or the end user can buy the property from us. It really doesn't matter to us who buys them, as long as someone does. We want to sell them for as much as we can, for as quick as we can. We do that through this system. Now, don't forget to register. If you want to look at properties when we're done, just hold up your hand and Laura will get your information. All right. So let's talk about the system a little bit. Now that we've got these properties, here's the other thing too. You don't get a lot of due diligence, if any, ever. I usually get a day, if I get that. If I get that. Sometimes I get hours to do this. But you don't have a lot of due diligence. You don't have a lot of, there's no escrow. You don't do all that junk. You just don't do it. That's not how we do it in the bulk buying business. We're going to move our money from a certified funds from one account to another to execute on a contract. But it's not the way that we do it. So I basically bought, I'm from the South, so I say it like this. I basically bought a pig and a poke. Does anybody know what a pig and a poke is? It means I've got a great deal. I've negotiated a great deal with the bank. I've funded very quickly. I've removed all the roadblocks. They have agreed to sell me clear title, all this stuff. Here it is. I got to take all the fuzz that's on it, whatever fuzz is on it. They're not standing good for any of the fuzz, but I've got it. And I don't really know what it is. So now I need to find out what it is. So that's where we start to be prudent about what we've purchased, and we need to learn what that is. So we gather information and data. Information tells us a tremendous amount about the property. So here's what we do. At Pinnacle, we have an in-department title company where we're going to pull a preliminary title report. We pull a preliminary title report on every single purchase that we make. And that title information tells us a lot of information. Number one, it's going to tell us all the previous owners, the previous mortgages, and the previous sales price. That's very important data. Now I know, based on what I paid for something, what somebody else thought it was worth before, what a banker thought it was worth, how much money he lent on it, what an individual paid for it. Very important information. Also, taxes, liens, levies, judgments, utilities, all that information is going to show up. And here's why that's important. In bulk buying, when you're buying them as is, where is, they come with all the fuzz on them. The only thing that's removed from a foreclosure is what? Mortgage. That's it. A lot of people think other stuff's covered. It's not. If you go through an escrow company or a title company,